Hello, everyone. This is another Black Conservative. I am Ryan Bowden. Thank you all for joining me. So, an article that I'm about to read right now states essentially that black people are fleeing crime ridden cities to pursue nicer neighborhoods. This is in direct contrast to what a lot of Democratic politicians are saying about places like Florida and making statements that Florida is a place that black people don't want to be. Let's see just how true that is. Let's get right into this article. Yeah, uh-huh. And it's what's interesting about this too is that it mentions something that's very familiar to me. But listen here, it says black residents are leaving many crime-ridden cities in the north in favor of suburban areas in the south, according to the Wall Street Journal. U.S. Census Bureau estimates released on Thursday revealed that black residents are leaving cities in the north and west that have a historically high black population, including Chicago, Detroit, Cleveland, and Oakland. My home city, Cleveland, right? According to the Wall Street Journal, the residents are reportedly fleeing to suburban and, quote, high growth areas to escape rising crime and find better neighborhoods. Yeah, and that is true. Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's true. But let's go on. I was tired of the gunshots, the sirens. Mary Hall Rayford, a retired teacher who moved from Detroit to neighboring East Point, Michigan in 2012, told the Wall Street Journal. Kerry Minor, who grew up in South Philadelphia, told the Wall Street Journal that nearly 5% of his barbershop customers left the city since the pandemic began and crime increased. He's been looking for, which is crazy, crime increased since then. He's been looking for a place to live in suburban Darby, Pennsylvania. Better school districts, nicer neighborhood. There's not people out on every corner, Minor told the Wall Street Journal. A general view shows the taped off area marking the scene of a shooting in Harlem, New York on January 22nd, 2020. And I guess you guys can go to that when you read the article if you like. The outflows represent a reversal of the so-called Great Migration that started in the early 20th century when millions of black Americans left the South to pursue economic opportunities and flee racial violence, the Wall Street Journal reported. Young college-educated black people are leading the shift. William Gray, a Brookings Institute, told the Wall Street Journal. The percentage of black people living in metropolitan areas, suburbs, rose to 40% by 2020, up to 33% 2 decades earlier, the Wall Street Journal reported. So that's the end of that article right there. It's pretty straightforward, right in your face. Yeah, pretty much so. And it's interesting, but not a surprise to me that the article mentions Cleveland as well, a city that I was born and raised in. And I have noticed an increase in violence myself. I had said to some time ago, a friend of mine asked me this question, says, would you be willing to leave Cleveland and leave the state of Ohio? This is some years ago. And I said, well, I don't know. It's kind of hard to say because my son is here and he needs a father figure, this, that, and the other. And my home church and so forth. I didn't want to come right out and say that, but really that's basically what it came down to. But as the years have gone by, my son has graduated. He no longer needs me, to be a father figure per se. And he no longer needs me. He's going on to college. I'll be here for him if he does need me. I'm here, here for him. But he don't need a daddy figure no more. In terms of my church, my home church, I don't feel like I need to stay in some particular state unless God tell me otherwise. I'm in my home church and I love it. And I love the people there. But hey, there are churches everywhere, and I am willing to leave the city of Cleveland and go somewhere else, maybe like Florida or somewhere to get away from around all of this mess. I find this interesting also that my auntie and my uncle, my mom had told me this a few months ago that my auntie and I didn't know this, that my auntie and my uncle moved to Florida. Now, she didn't say why they moved to Florida, but I suspect I know why. Because many, many years ago when I was young coming up, I found out that I found out kind of like through the grapevine that my uncle and my auntie were Republicans. They certainly weren't Democrats from what I understand. They had this persona of being a Republican. There's certain things, certain talking points they would give, and certain belief systems they had clearly pointed to a Republican mindset or a conservative mindset. And this was many, many years ago. I was a little bitty boy then, and I would hear them talking, and I didn't know, I didn't know anything about Republicans and Democrats, hardly anything, but knowing what I know now politically and the talking points of conservatives and the talking points of liberals, they clearly were conservatives / Republicans. So more than likely, they probably moved to Florida because they get tired of the same principle, tired of the high crime, tired of all the nonsense. When I go to work downtown in Tower City and I'm posted outside Tower City with my bike being on bike patrol, there's never a day that goes by, for the most part, where someone, and I have to be real with you, man. It is what it is. It is these people from the ghetto. People get mad, but it's reality. It's people from the ghetto having this ghetto mindset that is causing these kinds of problems. They are the major problem. They are, because of their mindset and how they allow the Democratic politicians to poison their mind into thinking that they're victims and that everybody owes them and that they're entitled to handouts. So they have this mindset and this attitude that's nonchalant towards crime. They sit around all day, and I'm not putting them down, I'm just telling you reality. They sit around all day downtown doing nothing, gambling, smoking blunts, causing all kinds of problems, just ridiculous. And I hear police officers constantly telling me now, more and more police officers that I work with at Tower City constantly telling me that crime is going up, is getting worse. These are the police officers. This isn't something I read or something. This is the police officers telling me this, okay? And which I'm not surprised, because I already knew about it. I had read up on it, okay? But for them to tell me verbally out of their own mouth was even a greater witness. And so good for the blacks good for the blacks that are doing this. And it shows, to me, it shows a level of being enlightened. Now, I have to look at it this way, too. There's another way of looking at it. And that is these blacks that are leaving these cities for because of the crime, high crime, and they're leaving these cities to go in places that are nicer. Are these blacks Democrats or Republicans, or are they conservative, or are they liberal? Reason why I say this is because you have some Democrats and some liberals and some Democrats, that aren't nutbags, that do believe in law and order. You do have that, and so you can have some Democrats that believe in law and order and don't believe that criminals are victims of an oppressed society and they need social workers rather than being thrown in jail where they're supposed to be. Okay. You do have some people Democrats that are like that. So it could be that these groups of blacks that are moving to these other cities to find, to get away from the high crime and so forth, may be Democrats, but Democrats or liberals that believe in law and order. God bless you. Thank God for you, because where you're moving at, you're not going to, hopefully they don't start vote. If these are liberals and Democrats, some of them, hopefully they don't vote out of force of habit. I'm just going to vote for a Democrat because I'm a Democrat. Hopefully they don't do that. But the point is that to sum this up, that's good for them. That's good for them. I mean, look, the facts of the matter are the facts of the matter. But like I said in the introduction to this video, you have politicians that are saying that, blacks don't want to be in places like Florida. There was one particular heading that I was reading on an article. I didn't read the article completely because I knew it was a bunch of BS. But the heading of the article simply said, cities that blacks don't want to be in, and it named Florida as one of them. And I'm saying to myself, I knew right off the bat that was a liberal article, a bunch of nonsense. This is probably something that they're fabricating. And if certain groups of blacks that don't want to move to Florida is factual, then these blacks that don't want to move to Florida is probably brainwashed and inner city ghetto people. It is what it is. I hate to sound condescending, but I don't know how else what else am I calling them? That's the attitude they have. It's mostly people in the ghetto. What else term I'm gonna use? You have black ghettos, you have white ghettos, you have Asian ghettos, you have all kinds of different ghettos. But see, I was raised and born in the black ghetto, so I know how people in the black ghetto think, because I was raised and born in it, and I deal with it every single day. I wasn't born last night. So this is the stuff I got to deal with. I'm telling you from experience. That's how they think. I'm telling you from experience, that's how they are. And unfortunately, sensible black people saying, we got to get up out of here. It is what it is. These are the facts. These are the real realities, not this fabricated crap that these Marxists and these liberals and these progressives are coming up with to keep us divided. But that's what I wanted to bring out here. What do you guys think? Leave your comments in the comment section below. Like, share, and subscribe to my channel. God bless you all, and see you again.